If you're from New Orleans, or even if you come here a lot, we're known for our food. Arguably, I'd say it's the culinary capital of the world. And after Katrina, you had world-renowned chefs like Nina Compton move here and just take off, where she put her Creole heritage from St. Lucia with our Creole heritage here in New Orleans. Influences from the Africans, Haitians, Spanish, French, all that made us who we are. I grew up in a household where both my mother and father cooked dishes like succotash, gumbo, stuffed bell peppers. The smells emanated throughout the house. But my parents were entrepreneurs as well. So on Friday nights after they were tired, I remember going to Dooky Chase to get a po' boy. They're located in the 6th Ward, Treme. Treme is significant because it's one of the oldest Black neighborhoods in America. You walk around a restaurant and you see all the accolades. You know how big of a deal the family is. So the first opportunity I had to photograph Mrs. Chase for a magazine, I was ecstatic because I too would go into that lineage of documenting such an amazing woman.
Okay, so welcome to the historic Dooky Chase's restaurant.
Thanks for having us. Let me go ahead and take my hat off.
Please.
Respect in the dining room.
Oh, thank you. That was one of my mother, Chef Leah Chase's rules. She said, all gentlemen remove their hats when they come in to dine. So thank you for respecting her.
No problem. And that's one of the things that I've always loved about this historic restaurant is the elegance of it. Can you tell us a little bit about that, why it was so paramount to your mother?
So that was important to my mother because she walked down the street of the French Quarter. She looked at all these elegant restaurants. She looked at the tablecloth. She looked at the tableware. She looked at the stem glasses. She looked at everything. And that was something that our community didn't have for a long time. And she always dreamt that one day I will have this in my community.
It's interesting that Leah Chase is so well known, but the business was started, she married into the business?
She married into the business. She's the inspiration for Princess Tiana. Right. And the thing is, Princess Tiana, as well as my mother, had this dream of owning a restaurant, a fine dining restaurant, to make their community just proud of them. So every morning I get up, I say to my parents, and especially to my mother where Disney is concerned, I'm living your blessings. Because I think that's what we all have to do whatever we can to the best of our ability, and know that the blessings may not be on us, but it will be on generations following us.
Black folk couldn't have gone to the French Quarter to eat like that. And so it's like you had to come here. I mean, and this was even listed in the Green Book.
We were definitely listed in the Green Book. But I will tell you, after my father and my mother, grandparents, who they were big on social justice. And we have the famous upstairs, which we call the legacy room, where a lot of our history in the civil rights movement took place. Now, I will tell you, after the civil rights movement, the laws passed that we could go anywhere to eat, my parents said, well, we know African Americans want to see what they're missing, but Caucasians not looking to see what they're missing. So this is the part where I really, admire my parents. So they said, we have to make our community proud of us. We have to better ourselves. And that's when they actually expanded. We started off in 1939 as a po' boy shop. Right in the next block, my grandmother started her famous po' boys. But then when she was able to save enough money and get someone to help her with the financing, then she bought the building, which right behind us is the original dining room and the bar. And so it was about bringing people together. And whenever my daddy could, having the music going. It was after Katrina happened, and my parents, at the ages, late 70s, my father, my mother was early 80s, they were determined to get this business up. And personally, I thought, this might be a time for y'all just to stay back and just kind of enjoy your life, because they were in here 7 days a week. They never did take off. My mother, you know, she really had the need to keep busy, and which is, I think, important because they were older, and a lot of older people lost hope because their surroundings had changed. They didn't feel, you know, in New Orleans, we're a community. The mayor found out she was in Baton Rouge, but the mayor asked her, you know, we have a place here, we can open it. And she said, no, at my age, I only have strength to open one place, and that's my restaurant in New Orleans. I'm going back so I can be there for my community and my city.
But going from first generation, second generation, now in third generation of continuous ownership for this restaurant.
And now we have the fourth generation, which I say to my dad, they came in 2016. My mother received the James Beard Lifetime Achievement Award. That was a big thing for her. We were blessed, I was blessed, some members of our family to be there for her. But you know, my mother, she always wanted her restaurant to receive a James Beard Award. This year it happened. And to me, that was the biggest blessing that we could now receive this for my grandparents and my parents. You know, my generation is slowly moving out, and we want to make sure that Dooky Chase is here forever.
And Aunt Stella saw a need in her family, and she stepped up and did it. It's that engine that continues to drive the whole Chase family. Hey, Eve, what's going on?
What's happening?
Oh, it's so good
How
to
are
see
you? Welcome in.
Oh, thank you, baby.
It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Always, always. I just got talking with the wonderful Stella, and so much to celebrate. I came in here for a celebratory drink. What do you suggest?
So I would like to make a mint julep, a Treme mint julep is what we call it.
Oh, now, come on now.
Here we are, and now we're ready to sip our cocktail. Well, cheers, sir.
Cheers.
Treme.
Treme. Jesus.
I like to do a little dance.
I know, right?
I'm always dancing back here like, yes.
Yeah, you definitely have the personality to bartend too. I prefer a bartender that is very warm, conversational, and it's not just small talk, but it's like coming home.
I love being here, but it's so easy to do because every time I'm in here, someone comes to the bar and goes, hey, let me tell you a story. I used to sit right in that corner and talk to your grandfather, and he would do this and this and this, and it's such a blessing to just be able to receive stories of my grandparents, of my grandmother, because they would take time with everyone. They knew everybody's family history. They would sit there and tell you who your mama, who your daddy was, and when they used to come and see them, all the things. Not only are we keeping our family's legacy alive, other people are doing the same thing along with us.
Some restaurants have photos of like the staff and the owners with famous people.
We have stories.
Yeah. One thing I noticed about everyone in the Chase family, it didn't seem that you all were forced to come into the business. And I believe it was after COVID you decided to come home. What was the catalyst for that for you?
To me, it feels like I'm playing in a dollhouse. Because I grew up running back here, getting the bartender's way, you know, getting my grandfather's way, and, you know, we were just kids. So, and if we did too much, he would grab us by the shoulder and he would come up with a tune, and we would stop, and he would hum a melody that he would just, dot, 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 now it's your turn. And we'd go, okay, grandfather, okay, granddie, dot, 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 dot. And we knew he did that so we could slow down, so we would not run around and get in people's way. And so I realized that he taught himself how to do this.
Right.
He came into the business and taught himself how to manage and run a bar and make great cocktails, not even drinking.
Wow.
See, I became a connoisseur and an enthusiast because I enjoyed to imbibe.
Right.
But during COVID was when I made my first cocktail.
What?
Yeah, we did a family package for Mother's Day.
Okay.
And I was like, what would I give my grandmother for Mother's Day? And she loved lavender roses. So I was like, okay, well, let me make some lavender syrup. And that has been a hit from here on out. I'm like the lavender lemonade lady from now. Everybody comes back in their own way, of course, because we're so blessed and honored to have this and to continue this and to give this gift.
I love when you walk in, you know, you have a warm greeting, but I look up, I see Barack Obama, you see George Bush, just here, like in a Treme. I just,
in our community.
in our community, one of the oldest black neighborhoods in America.
That's why it's important, because if you have a place in the community that's bringing people to see the community, that means they're seeing us.
So many great stories, a great drink. I think now it's time to go and eat. Hello, hello, hello.
My man.
What's happening, baby?
How you making out, brother?
I'm good. How you
Good to
doing?
see you. Doing well in yourself.
How you feeling? Oh man, I can't call it. How y'all feeling?
I can't complain. Well, I hear you had a good conversation with my Aunt Stella and Eve at Dooky.
Oh, I did. Just conversations, a little libations.
I had, and they also told me you were hungry, so I got to cook you some food in
Come
this
on
kitchen,
now.
brother.
Let's get it. Let's
Let's
get
go
it.
ahead on in.
Obviously, everything on the menu is wonderful. And I was asking Stella what was her favorite dish to eat. And she told me it was a dish that her mother made.
That's right.
And you know, I guess it's a traditional dish with the fish,
It is.
the grits.
So both of my grandmothers grew up with fish and grits. And then one thing I know my aunt loves is a corn mock shoe. But here, as we're talking about that next generation, we added a little something to it.
But what was the pivot that you said I need to go full time into the restaurant?
And I never forget this one statement my grandmother said. We were sitting around the table. She said, if I can get that restaurant back, imagine what it would do for my community. It wasn't imagine what it would do for my family. It wasn't imagine I spent the last 60 plus years building it. She said, imagine if I get those lights on, what it would do for the community around me. It would give people a sense of hope, a sense of confidence that they can come back. And that registered right here with me and said, well, damn, what am I doing with my career? And as I got into the business, I said, look, we have this one restaurant, the flagship restaurant. It is the restaurant that has the history, the tradition, that really set the foundation for the next generation. But as the next generation is coming in, and you met them, the fourth generation, we big. So it's not just me included in the fourth generation. How do we grow this business? How does it become family sustainable in the essence of how can I sustain my family and you sustain yours as we grow the restaurant or the hospitality in our family? But for me to sustain a family, we go into the airport business. As that grows, the next generation can take its avenue and one person leads that business. Now we go into chapter 4. Another generational person can lead this one. And now we have a bucket that everybody can pull from. And that's how we're growing as a family, strategically. So chapter 4. Chapter 4's name is not because I'm Dooky the Fourth. Chapter 4's name is because it's a celebration of the fourth generation of Chase family members in this business. So when you come through those doors and you see the art on the wall, we're telling that story through the fourth generation. You saw Delita Martin piece holding out a hand of a strong African-American woman with a silhouette. And next to that silhouette that's 3 generations. You'll see a flower, that's generations. That gave her that confidence. That gave her that position. That gave her that foundation. That's basically the story I'm telling. That's the only reason why I'm here is because the generations that came before me taught me about this, taught me about life, taught me how important it was to service community. And everybody that comes into business understands that number one, flagship stays flagship. Dooky Chase is always a priority. That's the thing that started everything. Because when people fall in love with this city, they actually fall in love with the culture of this city. And it's not just one culture, it's so many different influences. That's why you have to celebrate your culture, and I need you to celebrate your cultures and tradition, because when people love this city, they understand how diverse it is. They understand that we gotta celebrate this. We gotta pay homage to West African, the folks that were brought here. We gotta pay homage to the Native Americans who were brought here. We also gotta pay homage to the folks that came and just started a new culture, new traditions, because that's made this city who we are. Everybody playing their role.
If we lose that, we lose the city.
Yeah,
And if we lose the city, we lose most of our influence on the whole world.
that's right. And we're not gonna lose either, because we're
Can't.
gonna keep it rocking.
Persist and resist. Being with Dooky Chase in the kitchen just really showed a love he has for culinary, as well as a deep understanding of its history. And as he said, you can't progress forward unless you know where you come from.